All right. Hello, everyone. Good evening. My name's Nicole, and welcome back to our English class. Okay, so for today, it's great to see you all here, especially as we kick off a new week together. So today we are diving into another week for pronunciation. Okay. Now, I know pronunciation can sometimes feel a bit tricky, like a puzzle with, lots of little pieces, but of course, we don't need to worry, maybe just a little. We are going to break it down together in a way that makes sense and helps you feel more confident when you speak. Now, we've already tackled all these topics that you're seeing on the screen, and we are now down on our last topic for the first set of topics for pronunciation, and there's more, of course. We are now we are now focusing on challenging consonants. Now, these challenging consonants are those sounds that sometimes feel a bit tricky to get just right. So, this can include the th sounds, the r sound, the difference between r and l sound, and so much more. Now, these sounds can actually change how we pronounce a word quite a bit. So, mastering them is a huge step towards sounding more natural and, being understood more clearly. So, because that's really important, because if you think about it, sometimes just a very little or tiny change in sound can make a big difference in what someone understands, right? Getting these challenging consonants right will not only make your English sound smoother but also prevent any misunderstandings. So it's like adding the perfect finishing touch to your spoken words. Okay? Because as much as possible, the very first thing that we don't want, that we don't want for others is to misunderstand us. We don't want that. So, as much as possible, we learn the proper pronunciation of words so that there is no room for any errors and misunderstandings. Okay? Now, our goal for this session is to make these tricky consonants feel much less daunting or intimidating. We will go through practical examples and I encourage you to participate actively. So remember, learning pronunciation is all about practice and trying things out. As much as possible, we practice and practice because, of course, pronunciation is more on physical thing. No, we use all of our articulators inside our mouth to pronounce to make something to make something a sound. Okay? Now, with that, of course, don't be discouraged if you cannot get it right immediately, because there's no such thing as a perfect practice, perfect learning in one go. It's always step by step. All right? But there are times, especially when it comes to accent, that we cannot really totally mimic the accents of the native speakers, English native speakers, and it's okay. Okay, that's perfectly okay. There's no such thing as a perfect accent, but what we aim here is for clear and effective communication, because that's what truly matters. So let's learn, practice, and of course have a bit of fun along the way if we can. All right, let's get started. All right. So what makes consonant challenging? Of course, we try to get to know why there are such things as challenging consonants. Of course, there's many reasons for it. First is there's no equivalent in L1 or first language. This means that the sound simply does not exist in your native language or your first language or your what other term is it? Mother tongue. Okay? So if your tongue, lips, or other parts of your mouth, we call them articulators, if they are not used to making a particular sound because it's not present in your first language, of course, it will naturally be more difficult to produce correctly in English. So you are learning a completely new motor skill for your mouth, especially, yes, if you are really not used to pronouncing this particular sound. So that might be very difficult for you. Okay? Second, similar but different. Sometimes a sound might exist in your native language, but it's produced in slightly different way. So for instance, the T sound in English might not be exactly the same T in your first language. Your brain hears it as similar enough, but those subtle differences in tongue placement or air release can change how native English speakers perceive the sound. Third is on voicing. So this refers to whether your vocal cords vibrate when you make a sound. English has many voiced and unvoiced parts of consonants. We all know this, right? We've already tackled about voiced and voiceless consonants. So, for example, the P in pat, that's unvoiced because there's no vibration. If you try to touch your throat and then say this sound and feel, if there's vibration, you say it, there's no vibration, so that means it's unvoiced, or we call it also as voiceless, because of course your vocal cords don't vibrate. While b b b is voiced because of course your vocal cords vibrated. If your vocal cords vibrated, basically it's voiced. If it does not, of course, it's voiceless or unvoiced. So if you confuse these pairs, like saying pat instead of but, it can significantly change the meaning of a word. No, very subtle difference, but it's very important, and it can change the entire meaning of your message, of something that you are communicating to the other person. So that's really what makes English really difficult. And lastly, we have, of course, manner or place of articulation. So these are basically different tongue or lip positions. So this points to how and where a sound is made in your mouth. Okay? When it comes to manner of articulation, it describes how the airflow is obstructed. Say, for example, stopping it completely, like in p or b. Okay? That's stopping it completely, the air. So you can also do like allowing air to flow continuously for an S or Z sounds. Okay? There's just differences when it comes to how the airflow is obstructed or not. Okay? When it comes to place of articulation, it describes where in the mouth the obstruction occurs. Where? For example, does it use both lips? Like in p and b, it uses both lips to produce a sound. P, b. Okay? Or maybe the tongue is behind the teeth, like in T and D. If you try to produce the sound of T, T, or D, D, you notice that your tongue is behind your upper teeth, right? So that's the place of articulation. If you are not putting your tongue, your lips, or other articulators in these precise English position, the sound will come out differently. Okay? So both manner and of course place of articulation is important. So those are the reasons, no? Why such consonants are very challenging for us or for some people. So with this, I really started on this because understanding these reasons helps us target our pronunciation practice more effectively. It narrows down the problem of your pronunciations. It's not just about hearing the sound, but understanding the physical mechanics behind it. That would really help you a lot. Okay? All right. All good with this? We are going to continue with this one. All right. Let me check if you can see my screen for a moment. I am monitoring using my phone, so okay, everything's good. It's showing my current screen. All right. Now that we have covered the why consonants can be challenging, let's look at some of the specific consonants that often give English learners a bit of a hard time. Okay, the slide I've shared us will give you a super helpful grouped list. So it focuses mostly on received pronunciation, standard, or more on British English. All right. But I think let me check for a moment. Let me check again the screen. I don't know if you can see it well, the one inside the screen. If not, I'm gonna try to zoom in. Zoom it in, okay? For a moment. All right. Oh no, for a moment. All right, sorry for that. I wasn't able to really see it well while I was editing because it was clear while I was editing. But now that I am sharing the screen, it looks too small. So that's why I stopped for a moment and edited it to make it much clearer in your end. Okay. All right. Let's continue right away. So let's break down these groups and talk about each one. Don't worry about memorizing the technical terms like interdental fricatives, labiodental fricatives, all those technical terms. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. You don't have to memorize it right away. But you still have to be, a little bit familiar with it. Okay? So the most important thing here is just, to understand the sound and how to make it. First is on interdental fricatives. Now, this is tongue between teeth. Actually, I'm going to elaborate on this one later on, but yes, here, interdental fricatives, this is tongue between teeth. Okay? Tongue between teeth. What does it mean? Your tongue, when you try to produce this particular sound, your tongue is just here, the center. It's like it's bitten by your teeth. Okay? So the words or there are many consonants, but we are focusing on the challenging consonants. One consonant that are not challenging, that uses interdental fricatives is letter T. Huh? T. No, not T. Let's just focus on here in challenging consonants. Here it's the TH sound. I also included the IPA version or IPA symbols of these sounds so that there's really guide and you would be very familiar with IPA symbols. As much as possible, every lesson, when it comes to pronunciation or any kind of lesson that I have, I will include the IPA symbols or IPA transcriptions of a word, a phrase, or even a sentence so that we can really be familiar with them because IPA is really very helpful for you when it comes to practicing your pronunciation because they are a pronunciation guide. Okay, here we start with TH. So the TH, the two sounds or two versions of TH that it produces is using interdental fricatives, which means tongue between teeth. Okay. Now here, these are probably the most famous challenging consonants for many learners. Well, it's because in most languages, you don't put your tongue between your teeth to make a sound. Okay? That's why it's really challenging in a way that's one thing. It's not really common to put your tongue between your teeth when you make a sound for other languages, for their first languages. And second is that there's two versions of it. Okay? For the first TH sound, which has a symbol of an O with a line in the middle, that's what we call voiceless TH. Okay? Voiceless TH or unvoiced TH sound. So you can think of words like think, think, thin, thank you, bath, or truth. So those kind of words uses voiceless TH sound because If you try to say those words with the voiceless TH sound, and if you touch your neck and feel the sounds that the TH versions of those words, you cannot really feel any vibrations at all. Your vocal cords won't vibrate. Okay, let's try. Thin, thin, bath, bath. Thank you, thank you. There's no vibrations at all. All those three words which we consider as voiceless, which we consider has a voiceless TH sound, they do not produce any vibrations when spoken. So that means that only justifies that these words uses a voiceless TH sound. Okay? So to make this sound, gently place the tip of your tongue between your upper and lower front teeth. Okay? Upper and lower front teeth. Okay? So meaning just in between. Then you push air over your tongue and out of your mouth. Okay? It's just air, no voice involved, because here if there's voice involved, of course, that would produce any that would produce vibrations, and that would make it voiced th. Since we're talking about voiceless th here, so as much as possible, we only just, breathe air. We just only produce air, no voice involved. So you should feel the air coming out basically. Okay? So it's like this. It's like you're blowing air, but it's just that your tongue is in between your teeth. It's like you're blowing air, then your tongue is in between your teeth. Again. All right, that's good. That is how you make this sound. As for the other version of TH sound, which of course, since the first one is voiceless, the second one would be voiced. Okay? You cannot really see, I don't know if you can see the symbol very clearly, but the symbol looks like flipped number 6 with a thin line at the upper part. But yeah, that's like that. So that's the voiced TH sound IPA symbol. So this is the voiced version, like in the words this, that, then, they, mother, breathe. So the mouth position is the same as for the voiceless th sound, but this time you turn on your voice, you use your voice. It should not be only air, but you should use your voice. So you should feel a vibration in your throat and as well as in your tongue. So let's try to check. What did we do earlier? Let's just touch your neck, and then say the words. If there's vibrations, then of course it's voiced. Let's see. This, that, mother, they. There's clearly vibrations for all words that I've mentioned. So, yes, all those words are voiced th sound. Okay? So that's the first one. The key with both is that gentle tongue between teeth action. So practice in front of a mirror if you can. All right? Let's just, make this quick because I will be really elaborating on all these terms. All these challenging consonants, on later slides. Okay, let me just introduce them, basically. So second is labiodental fricatives, which is on upper teeth on lower lip. Say, for example, F and V. Okay, F is the unvoiced and V is voiced. Next is sibilant fricatives. This is the hissing or buzzing sounds. Hissing, letter S. Buzzing, Z. Another hissing, sh. Buzzing, Z. Okay? We will elaborate on that later on. Next is affricates. This is stop plus fricative. Okay? Affricates. That is affricate, stop plus fricative. Here, it includes the sounds ch, ch, and G. G or J. Okay? And next to that is nasal consonant. So back to tongue, air through nose. Again, back to tongue, air through nose. This includes the sound NG, the NG sound or the ng sound. Okay? Next to that is liquids. This is laterals and approximants. This includes the sound that the letter L and letter R make. And lastly, we have approximants. This is vowel-like sounds, vowel-like consonant sounds, okay? Which includes the W sound or the woo sound, and the Y sound, okay? That one, Y sound or the yi sound. All right? So you might get confused. I've already cleared this many times in our previous sessions, but if you're still confused or it's the first time you are actually seeing or knowing about this, the IPA symbol for letter Y sound is letter J. Okay, so that there's no confusion at all. Let's be clear on that. That's why you can see a letter J in the last part. Okay, for the letter Y as a representative. So that's the IPA symbol for that. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's dive into more detail in practices for these different challenging consonants. Okay, those are just, a little bit of peek on these challenging consonants. Actually, for this one, I don't know if we can cover everything for one session. I think we cannot because as much as possible, I don't really want to go faster. I don't want to compromise your learning, and I don't want to overwhelm you. So maybe we can do 3 or 4 for today and then the rest for tomorrow. Okay? All right. So let's start right away with the first challenging consonant. We've already, have a more elaboration on this one, but I think we still need to really look into the two versions of TH sounds. And again, this is interdental fricatives. Okay? All right. Now, this is a great place to start our deep dive because these sounds are often completely new to many English learners. So the key to both TH sound is very simple, but it takes a little getting used to. Because again, I've mentioned earlier, it is really not a common manner and place of articulation. And that is your tongue goes between your teeth, your upper and your lower teeth, not behind them, not touching the roof of your mouth, but gently poking out just a little bit, or at least touching the very back of your upper, front teeth. But it's as much as possible, you really let your tongue go outside, like it's in between your teeth. Okay. All right, let's look at the two types of interdental fricatives TH sound. First is the voiceless TH sound. Again, the symbol is this one. The letter O with a line in the middle. Okay, that's the symbol for this one. So yes, how to make it? Of course, I've mentioned this earlier, but of course, it's as much as possible we try to elaborate on this because again, this is really not a common sound for any first languages of the other of some learners, English learners. Okay, so as the slide says, for the voiceless TH, it's air only. Again, air only. So you gently place the tip of your tongue, so it's just touching or slightly sticking out between your upper and lower front teeth. Now push air over your tongue and out. You should feel the air coming out of your mouth almost like a soft hiss. Okay? Your vocal cords should not vibrate, of course, because it's voiceless, so no vibrations. And if you put your hand on your throat, as I did earlier, you shouldn't feel any buzzing, because the very quick and one way to really check if a sound is voiced or voiceless is just to touch your neck, touch your throat, and if such sounds really vibrates, and it's voiced. If it does not, of course, it's voiceless or unvoiced. Okay, some examples we have here: think. And beside it, the one in the brackets, is the IPA transcription of it. Remember, everyone, that IPA transcription is always in the bracket. Okay? You should always put the IP transcription, may it be a letter, a word, or even a sentence in a bracket. Okay? Always in a bracket. That's the IP transcription. So first again is thank. Again, thank. Thank. Your teeth in between your no. Your tongue in between your teeth. I flipped it. Anyway, another example is both. Also, here it's in the end. It's the end syllable of the word. Both. Again, both. So this one ends with the sound. And lastly, teeth. Another word ending with voiceless th. Teeth. Okay. All right, for that is for voiceless th sound. A little tip, sometimes learners might substitute this with an S sound, like instead of saying think, they say sink, or an F sound like both instead of both. Okay, just remember the tongue position. That's what makes it really distinct usually. Okay, look at the tongue position, one of the articulators. Okay, next is the voice th sound. That's the symbol I've mentioned earlier. Now, how to make it for the voice th sound, the tongue position is exactly the same. The tongue between your teeth, though. So here, both versions of th sound share the same manner of articulation. Now, the big difference is that you add your voice. So it's air plus vocal cord vibration. This creates a buzzing sound, right? So place your tongue, then turn on your voice. You should feel a definite buzzing or vibration in your throat and on your tongue as the air pushes through. Okay? All right. For examples, for a moment. For example, that. Again, that. Brother, with. Okay? So that's the buzzing sound. There's a buzzing sound here. So there's basically a voice th sound. Okay? So if you struggle with the voice th sound, you might substitute it with a z sound. No, just a little tip. Like instead of saying that, you say zot. Not really that very common, but that will do if you cannot really, you find it really hard to pronounce these. First set of challenging consonants. Okay. Anyway, that's that for the first challenging consonants, the two versions of th sound. First, voice th, air only. Second, voice th, air plus vocal cord vibration. Okay? All right. Next, we have here. Of course, we do not continue with the next topic without a practice drill to see if you're listening and learning with me. Okay? Now that we've talked about about how to make those th sounds, it's time for some real world practice. Us is fantastic for this is because it provides sentences packed with both voiced and voiceless th sounds. So this is where we turn knowledge into action. Now remember, the key is to be mindful of your tongue position and whether you are adding your voice. So let's go through these sentences and I encourage you to say them out loud with me, even if it's just you whispering to yourself. Okay? The more you activate those mouth muscles, the better, of course. It will contribute to louder in more solid sound. We'll take each sentence one by one. I'll read it and then you can try it yourself. Pay close attention to the words highlighted and those are our target th sound. Okay? All right. First sentence, the thin thieves thought they could thrive without their brother. Again, the thin thieves thought they could thrive without their brother. Okay? Now here, remember that buzzing sound. That's the voice th sound. Okay? Next. I think that there are 33 thorns of this thorn bush. Again, 33 thin. I think that there are 33 33 thorns on this thorn bush. Okay? Let's try again that slowly, focusing on TH sound. What are the TH sounds here? What are the words that has TH sounds here? There's so many actually. The ones in red, that's the TH spelling, TH sound. You know, the equivalent, the representative for TH sound. I put it in a comment, you know. Anyway, I think that there are 33 thorns on this thorn bush, so maybe that's really a lot. But anyway, um, let's just say words we have here are think, that's a voiceless TH sound. That's clearly voice TH sound. 33, that's a voiceless TH sound. This, voice TH sound, and another voiceless TH sound. Thornbush. Again, thornbush. Okay, that's the second sentence. Next, and lastly for this slide, feathers and leather are smooth and warm for the weather. Again, feathers and leather are smooth and warm for the weather. Excuse me for that. Anyway, this is the example. But anyway, this is feathers and leather are smooth while warm for the weather. Now, the words usually included here are feathers, leather, smooth, weather, you know. Let's try the last one, maybe. Notice how most of those are voiced TH sounds, like in feather, leather, okay, and weather, right? Okay. Anyway, these are the, some of the many, plenty, infinite sentences that can be utilized using the lyrics or fitting the cat's eye. Fitting the what? Fitting you as the English learner. Okay? Let's try to really fit this into your English language learning needs as much as possible. Now, this is the first drill for the day for the challenging consonant TH. Again, there's two versions for it. TH, the voice TH, and the voiceless TH. Let's continue. I guess we'll be having 3 challenging consonants for today, and then the rest or the other half for tomorrow. Okay? Let's not try to really put everything at once because it might overwhelm you, and it can really, when you're overwhelmed, it can compromise your learning. But anyway, let's continue with this one. Let's move on with labiodental fricatives. The next pair of challenging consonants is F and V, or the sounds F and V. So these are often called teeth on lip sounds. Again, teeth on lip. Basically, you're biting just a little bit of your lower lip using your upper teeth, of course. Again, right? Of course, for a very good reason, which is the key to making them correctly. Now here, they both uses the same manner and place of articulation. Like there is your teeth is on the lip. That's how you do it. That's basically the place of articulation. But here, it's all about your upper teeth. You just, again, it's just gently, slowly touching your lip. Your lower lip specifically. Upper teeth, lower lip. Again, upper teeth, biting just a little bit of your lower lip. That's on letter F and letter V sound. So the air then, it creates a friction, of course, because it's temporarily blocked. And it creates a friction sound as it pushes through that small gap. It's not completely stop, just partial stop. So that's why you can really totally create still. There's still an air that can pass through. Okay. So again, and let's start with the letter F sound. Now again, this particular sound, that's not only on the letter F. Okay, it's not produced by the letter F only. in the alphabet, but it's also produced by the combinations of many consonant sound, basically consonant clusters. We've already talked about this topic. Such consonant cluster could include GH in enough, still, that's an F sound, right? So enough, GH can be rough, still, GH, but I think there's more. So that's just, let's not narrow down our thinking on letter F sound is only for letter F in the alphabet, in the English alphabet. That's not how it works in English alphabet. That's too simple for English language. Okay. Anyway, this is the F sound. It's voiceless because, of course, there's no vibration when you try to pronounce the letter. No vibrations at all. Okay. So here, you usually don't really bite down when you place your upper front teeth on your lower lip. Okay, don't bite down, just a little touch. Now, here you push air out through the small space between your teeth and your lip. You should feel a continuous soft airy sound. So if you put your hand in front of your mouth, okay, you will feel a steady stream of air. There is air in there. If you try to say or pronounce the sound that this particular sound makes, there's a stream of air because there's if you try to pronounce it, there's a stream of air. So it's like this. As you notice, it's just, that your upper teeth it's just slightly biting your lower lip. Okay? So your vocal cords, of course, here, it should not vibrate because, again, I've mentioned this is a voiceless sound. Okay? Voiceless sound, air only. Just like the same with the voiceless TH sound, it's air only. Okay? Air only. That's voiceless. It should not vibrate. So if you touch your throat, you shouldn't feel any buzzing. So let's try an example here. Fun and life. Touch your neck and say the word fun. Fun. Life. Life. There's no vibrations at all, which means that these words are indeed voiceless sound because it uses this particular sound, the F sound. All right? Okay. But of course, when you try to say the words fun, and life, you can feel the air pushing out. If you just, put your hand in front of your mouth, there's really stream of air that you can feel. Okay? A little tip in here, sometimes, learners with certain language backgrounds, with those learners that has different first languages, might confuse these with a P, the letter P sound, or a slightly different H sound. Remember that contact between your teeth and your lip is essential for a clear F sound. Okay? All right. Next to that is, of course, its counterpart, its voiced counterpart, which is the V sound. So here it is air plus vocal cord vibration, which means that, yes, this is a voiced V sound or voiced sound. For the V sound, the mouth position is exactly the same as for F. That's why I mentioned that this is really the counterpart for the F sound. So again, upper teeth gently touch your lower lip. Okay? So the crucial difference is that this is like with our TH sound earlier. The only difference between the first sound is that you add your voice, because that's what make the sound voiced, of course. So here, you add your voice, so it's air plus vocal cord vibration, as mentioned in the slide. You make that same teeth on lip contact, but this time turn on your voice. Okay, turn on your voice, use your vocal cord, so you should feel a definite buzzing or vibration in your throat and, of course, on your lips, but usually it's it's evident in the vibration is evident in your throat. So let's just, follow that. And then there's still air, of course, passing through. So say, for example, in the words van and live. Van, live. Okay, there's vibrations in there. Okay, so here, the van, we tried van. I think, I don't know if you tried also in your end, but as much as possible, we try to participate in any kind of activity that I will be asking you to do, no matter how simple it is. Okay? So again, van. Van. Can you feel the buzz in your lips and especially in your throat? Because I can feel it. Van. Again, van. Correct. Yeah, there's buzzing sound in there. And of course, this word often uses the V sound at the end. Live, live. Okay, there's still vibration. So both these words are voiced sound. Are using voiced sound. I mean. Now here, when it comes to these sounds, this is often challenging if your native language doesn't have district V sound, or if it lends to produce, pronouncing letter V more like W or B. So you can focus on getting that dental label contact and making sure your vocal cords are really vibrating. So this distinction between the letter F and letter V is really important because as you can see with life and live, those two words, or even with van and fun, there's like one subtle difference between them. You can really see that it can change the entire meaning of a word because those words, fun and van, are two entire different things. They are not even related in any way. They are not even opposites of each other. There's just, strangers to each other. There's no connection with them aside from they sound the same, almost the same, just one sound different. Okay? So as much as possible, practice these sounds by alternating between them. Maybe F, you can say F. Just practice with those challenging consonants. You can feel the air of the letter F, or feel the vibration mostly on letter V. Not really letter V. Let's just not use the name or the term letter because for example, in letter F, or the F sound, I mean, it's not limited to English letter F. Okay, because I mentioned it's also producing the sound F in consonant cluster GH. Okay, all right. So here, the clearer you make this distinction, of course, the more confident you will feel when speaking because already this distinction between the letter F and letter V. Of course, you will be very confident when it comes to really using them in words or sentences or even phrases or when talking to someone in general. Okay? All right. Next to this, of course, what are we going to do? Since we've already discussed how to produce the F and the, what do you call that? Yeah, the F and V sounds. It's time to put that knowledge into practice with some full sentences here. The slide is perfect for reinforcing these teeth on lip sound. Again, teeth on lip sound. Upper teeth, lower lip. For here, the first sentence is 5 fast vans vanish from the village field. 5 fast vans vanish from the village field. Aside from the word the, all of the words, the rest of the words uses either F or letter V. Okay? For 5, it's using F, so it's voiceless, fast as well as from and field. The rest, vans, vanish, and village, they are all voiced sound because they uses the letter V in their spelling of the words included in the sentence. Okay? All right. Okay, next is she gave me 12 fresh flowers for the vase or vase. It depends. Both can be still, accepted. Usually, I'm more leaning on vase because that's the pronunciation I grew up with. But yeah, I am open to any pronunciation because there's so many pronunciation for a word. That's why English sounds or English as a language is really complex. Okay, Anyway, going back, she gave me 12 fresh flowers for the vase or vase. Vase or vase, okay? Let's just use vase because I'm much more comfortable with that one. She gave me 12 fresh flowers for the vase. Next is I believe he has a few offers. Not a few, but yeah, a few offers for the job. I believe he has a few offers for the job. Okay? So it uses F and V. I highlighted the letter B, but it's supposedly not be highlighted. I cannot edit this one because I saved this as a I cannot really edit this one because I locked it. But anyway, this is, the letter B in there. It should not be highlighted, okay? All right. Excellent. Let's move on to the last, as much as possible. I think this is the last one. This could be at the last or the second last challenging consonant that we will be talking for today. Okay? We are moving right along to another important group of sounds. Another common mistakes that can be, mistakenly do by some learners. The sibilant fricatives. Now, the name sibilant might sound a bit fancy, but it just means they are hissing or buzzing sounds. Okay? Think of a snake's hiss or a bee's buzz. That's the kind of sound we are talking about. Alright? Now, the general rule for these sounds, as the slide shows, is that you put your tongue, not you put, but your tongue here is behind your teeth. Okay? And the air still flows through a narrow challenge, creating that distinct sound. Okay? You use that. Tongue is behind your teeth. Okay? All right. First, there are actually 4. Let's start with the letter S here. That is a voiceless hiss. Again, voiceless hiss. How to make it? Of course, this is the unvoiced hiss. So what you do is the tip of your tongue should be close to, but of course not totally touching the ridge behind your upper front teeth. Like behind this one. Okay? Your tongue should be resting behind this one. Alright? Okay. So when you say that, well, when you're already established how you do pronunciation of this, let's you push the air out, you let it hiss between your tongue and the roof of your mouth, so there should be no vocal cord vibration, just air. Okay? For example, in the words here, stay, which has a clear diphthong sound, A, as well as sour, which also has a clear diphthong sound, ow. Okay? That's let's say stay and sour. Now, when you try to say these sounds, make sure that it's a clean hiss and not too much like a TH sound. Okay? The tongue should stay inside your mouth, behind your teeth, not poking it. Okay? Not poking it. All right. Next to that is not letter again. It's the equivalent, since the hissing sound is voiced, its equivalent is a buzzing sound or the letter Z sound. How to make it? This is divided between partner of S. The tongue and lip position is exactly the same for S, but this time you add your voice. Okay? You create a distinct buzz. You should feel the vibration in your throat and a buzzing sensation behind your teeth. That should be it. Okay? Alright. Some examples here. We have zip and his. Again, first is zip. You feel the buzz right from the start, right? Let's see. If you're still unsure that there's a buzzing sound here, just check. Touch your throat, touch your neck, and say the sound. Z, z. The word zip. Zip. There's a clear vibrations in there, which means that this is how do you call this? This is a voiced sound. Okay? The counterpart is voiceless, which is the S or the hissing sound. So S is the hissing sound, Z is the buzzing sound. Okay? All right. Where are we now? Okay? The letter Z. We've already done with that. Let's have sh. Letter consonant cluster as H. Sh. Again, sh. Here, of course, this is the unvoiced SH sound because you want it. For this one, you need to round your Lips slightly, like you're about to say O. O. And pull your tongue back farther than for S or Z. The tip of your tongue points towards the roof of your mouth, but doesn't quite touch it or push the air out, leaving a, you know, leaving a soft slushing sound. Okay. Again, no vocal cord example or vibrations here for these particular sounds. Okay. All right. Okay. For a moment. That is on the Z sound. Let's move on to sh, like in the words. We want to talk about this. These are in the words shut and rush. Again, shut and rush. Okay? And lastly, we have this one. G, G. Again, G. Like in major. Okay? That's how we do it. Tongue behind teeth. It's either hissing or buzzing sounds. Okay? Okay. All right. Next slide. This is, of course, practice drill. We cannot move on entirely to the other without knowing the slides. Okay? Let's have the tiny shell was published by the washing ocean. Her decision was a pleasure and a treasure. Okay, treasure. The sheep garden sugar in special vision. 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 Okay? All right. So here, let's look at the sounds here. Shiny. This is the word. This is the word where a particular song that she really likes. Okay. Remember to round your lips and pull your tongue back in. Okay. Just air. Just breathe. Well, that's another unvoiced. Pusher ends with the unvoiced sound. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's have that. Okay. Let me just copy it, paste for you what I found. I'm sorry. Okay. All right. Of course, let's move on. Another set of not questions, another set of drills. The zoo had zebras and lizards and buzzing bees. She always chooses to lose clothes. She always chooses loose clothes for the summer. His sister also wished to visit the museum. Okay? All right. Next slide. The next slide we have here, title is, where's the title? I forgot. Challenging consonants, but that's really not the exact title or term that is used, but something like that. Okay. All right. Um, I don't know. That's not really hit that hard for me. Anyway, let's continue. Okay. Because there's so many of them. So let's just continue as much as possible. Okay. All right. Uh-huh. Let me just check. Sorry for that. Okay. All right. Let's start with the W. Again here, your lips are rounded slightly, then quickly unrounded. No. Okay? No people. Anyway, here are some additional, sentences that primarily that the primary focus is something that's really not common, of course. Okay? Let's just do that. We have first sentence here. I want you to read it with me in your own comfortable spaces there. I'll start with the first one. We went to Wales on Wednesday to watch with animals. Next, it wasn't a moment. We went to Wales on Wednesday to watch wild consonants. really. But yeah, that's a good opportunity. We went to Wales on Wednesday to watch wild animals. We went to watch to Wales. Sorry, to Wave of Earth. Are they that? Are did you call that? Did you call it like that? But yeah, something like that. All right, let's have this one. Something that's really sane right now. Okay, we want to Wales. Now let's just focus on the Z sound, please. Okay, sorry for that. Okay, I think that's it for this particular sound. Okay. Uh huh. For a moment, I think we were on the last. My slide is not the same slide that I am showing. But let me check because I checked as much as possible. I really checked on my phone. I have a copy of the video in my on the live stream on my phone. That's why, because there are really, we cannot really predict any technical problems that that we might encounter. Okay, we are on letter the hissing sound. Okay, right, we are on the hissing sound. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Now here are the hissing sound again because I don't know what happened. It's on the what slide was that? Letter W and letter Y. That's the last part actually. That's just a sneak peek. Let's just say that. We've already talked about stay. Letter S, hissing sound. It's voiceless. Okay, there's no vibrations at all when you try to say or pronounce the letter S sound, like in the word stay or sour. Stay, sour. Now, stay, it uses a clear diphthong A sound, as well as in sour. It has an ow diphthong sound. Okay, that's letter S. That's on hissing. For its counterpart, of course, buzzing sound, it should be voiced. It's usually crucial for plural words. That's why there are words that are spelled with letter S but is pronounced with the buzzing sound or the letter Z sound. It's not here. Ah, yeah, it's here. His. Again, his. Another word is zip. His zip. There's vibrations in there, which means that really this is um, a voiced sound, which is a buzzing sound here. And of course, again, we talked about sh or the sh sound. This is a consonant cluster. Say for example, shut and rush. Shut and rush. There's no vibrations, which means that this is a voiceless sound. And its counterpart is, of course, a voiced sound, which is zh. Again, zh. You cannot really clearly hear it, but that's zh. Again, zh. Let's just say the words that are part of this particular sounds. Vision. Again, vision. Vision. Measure. So there's clearly vibrations in there, which means that this particular sound is a voiced one. All right, let's practice. These are the first set, I guess. Yes. The shiny shell was pushed by the washing ocean. Okay. The shiny shell was pushed by the washing ocean. Next, her decision was a pleasure and a treasure. Next, the sheep shared sugar in special vision. Okay, your turn. Let's start with the first one. The shiny shell was pushed by the washing ocean. Your turn. Okay. Next, her decision was a pleasure and a treasure. Your turn. Okay. Next, the sheep shared sugar in special vision. Your turn. Okay, good. Let's move on to the next and last practice reel. The zoo had zebras, lizards, and buzzing bees. Okay, that's first. Second, she always chooses loose. No, that's the wrong spelling. That should be double O. But I cannot edit, I'm sorry. Again, this is she always chooses loose clothes for this summer. Don't know what happened, but there's letter M there. But yeah, let's focus on S. And lastly, we have his sister. There should be no T there. His sister also wished to visit the museum. Okay, your turn now. First one. Okay, good. Next. All right. Okay. And last one, his. His. Again, his. Okay. All right. That's good. And that would be a wrap up for today, everyone. So far, for the challenging consonants, we've already tackled three. We have these interdental fricatives, which are those two versions of TH sound. Again, the two versions of TH sound are voiced and voiceless, like think and the or this. Second, we also tap into labiodental fricatives, which are the f and v, or the letter F and V sounds. And next and lastly, with would be on sibilant fricatives, the hissing and buzzing. There's four of them. First is letter S, second is Z, and third is sh or letter S combination or cluster, consonant cluster as H, and the last one is j, j. Okay? So those are the challenging consonants that we've tackled for today, and we will have the rest of challenging consonants tomorrow. I think there is four remaining four of them, so that we can be able to finish them tomorrow. Okay? That's for sure. So for today, everyone, you've done an absolutely incredible job today. Your willingness to really dive into these challenging sounds, I hope. Your active participation, I cannot really see any comments right now. I don't know why. But yes, thank you if you're participating still on your own, in your own comfortable spaces there. And of course, your dedication to practice it's commendable basically. So always remember the goal here is always clear and confident communication, and you've made a huge strides towards that today. Okay? Thank you so much for your active participation, hopefully, and for bringing your excellent slides. Excellent slides, your excellent, presence and mind. So it was a pleasure to really be with you for today. Now keep practicing on your own if you have a free time, and I wish you all the very best on your English language journey. Goodbye for now.